पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So, welcome to this morning discussion on the Sri Madhurya Kadambini. We are on the eighth chapter, the emotions, what one experiences in Prema Bhakti. Last two classes we had on this. So, let's recite the Mangala Charan verses of the Madhurya Kadambini and then continue our discussion. हृद्वप्रेणवभक्तिशस्य वितते सञ्जीवनी स्वागमा, रम्भे कामतपतरुदाहदमनि विश्वापगुल्लासिनी। दूरान्मे मरुशाकिनोऽपि सरसि भावाय भूयात् प्रभु। श्रीचैतन्य कृपा निरंकुश महा माधुर्य कादम्बिनी। श्रीचैतन्य कृपा निरंकुश महा माधुर्य कादम्बिनी। श्रीचैतन्य कृपा निरंकुश महा माधुर्य कादम्बिनी। भक्ति पूर्वेशिता तां तु रसं पश्येद्यदात्यधि, तं नौमि सततं रूप नाम प्रिय जनम हरे। So we have been discussing the eighth shower, the last, of the Amrita Vrishti, that is Prema Bhakti. And we have completed up to 6 paragraphs, but I thought I'll just recap and then continue the discussions. So, in the first paragraph, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur explains how Prema Bhakti has even all the attributes of sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti. That's why the leaves, creepers, everything is there, but it is chikkana and it is shining because of the different ecstatic emotions one is experiencing. So the hearing and chanting in sadhana bhakti continues and even in prema bhakti, but it is more relishable. So then bhava turns into prema and it gives the mature fruit, original forms remain. And then hundreds and thousands of emotions, which are the ropes of material attachments, these material emotions, Prema cuts them and takes those emotions, which are illusory, and dips them in the great rasa, completely transforming them into spiritual emotions. And with these spiritual emotions, he is able to experience the Lord's form, name, and attributes. Prema is like the brilliant rising sun, which puts the host of star-like human aims to shame. Then in the second text, how these two attributes, Sri Krishna Akarshani and Sandrananda Visheshatma, how he is experiencing the rasa. We mentioned, because of this relish of rasa, he's like a powerful warrior or a very greedy thief. And that eagerness for the Lord is like hunger. And as you take food, the hunger gets mitigated. But here, the hunger, as you relish rasa, the hunger increases more and more. And this eagerness burns the devotee like the sun and cools him off like the millions of moons. We saw that. Then, how the Premi Bhakta has natural indifference to the material life. So, this, Vairagya is a byproduct of bhakti. And at the bhava stage, this manifests. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janeti Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Tad Ahetukam. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita. Bhakti Yoga which has attained Prayojan. In that sense, it means the Bhava Bhakti. Janeti Ashu Vairagyam. Vairagya and transcendental knowledge. So at Prema Bhakti, it is completely manifested in full. So we saw that, there is a powerful anxiety and relief, just like drinking a hot sugarcane juice. So the devotion and the eagerness combine and give rise to that uh, stage where one is constantly hankering for Krishna's darshan. So this eagerness is so powerful that it cannot be satiated even by having the visions of the Lord's form and pastimes. And how he feels, relatives like blind, waterless well, home like thorny forest, food like great beating, praise like snake bites, daily duties like death, each and every limb like a big burden, consolation of his friends feel like poisonous glands, his constant wakefulness feels like an ocean of repentance. And if sleep accidentally comes to him, this again is like a torment tearing up his life. Maintenance of his body like an embodiment of Lord's punishment, and his life here is like grains roasted over and over again. And what's more, that which was always considered desirable in the past is now looking like a great disaster. Even meditating on the Lord appears to be like self deception. And then what are the conflicting emotions? The conflicting emotions Bhava Bhakta experiencing. So here we saw how there is bliss and anxiety. We saw this, just like a child, husband and wife combined. So Krishna uh, manifests because of prema and eagerness. Prema and eagerness. And the Lord shows his attributes like his beauty, fragrance, voice, tenderness, taste, generosity, compassion to the eyes of his devotees. All these gradually manifest. And because of that, there is constant, powerful eagerness, which creates an ocean of ecstasy that no poet can describe it. But yet, he describes with three examples. We saw how one, in the desert traveling comes to a thick banyan tree shade, how an elephant tormented by forest fire is, experiencing the sweet nectar of drink. So we saw this, and then the progressive revelation of Krishna's qualities. Fifth and sixth, we saw the five qualities. That is, first is the reveals his own sweetness, his form, and all the senses and the mind of the devotees, turn into it. He becomes paralyzed, and then he's woken up by his gandha, fragrance. Second, and then his voice. Hare Mad Bhakta, Tavaham, I am yours. And then there is the beautiful voice. And then the touch, based on the rasa in which one is connected, the touch will be different. Then the further attributes. The further attributes were when he again goes into great soon, the fifth is his nectar of his lips. And based on the relation, again, it is revealed. And then the sixth attribute his is generosity. And by his generosity, all the attributes of the Lord, like his beauty, his smell, his touch, his taste, his, all these simultaneously manifest in the devotee senses like eyes. And all the senses simultaneously function. We saw that how this is inconceivable to the logical mind, It's completely inconceivable. Achintya bhava. So this is where we completed our discussion in yesterday's class. So today we will further continue the discussion. Now this is here in the seventh. Uh, okay, there is a question. Yes, Bir Krishnaji.
Uh, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Prabhu, just one clarification. These emotions and symptoms of Premi Bhakta who's at that stage, these are
Hmm.
Prabhu, it is, I mean, continuous and perpetual or intermittent? How it is, Prabhu?
Oh, it is continuous, Prabhuji. It is all continuous.
Uh-huh.
At the stage of bhava only, it is like a flowing like a rati attraction towards the Krishna. It is continuous. At the stage of prema, it intensifies. You
And
know,
Prabhu, we hear sometimes that devotees at that level, sometimes they hide these emotions. I mean, how it is, Prabhu?
yeah, because of their strength and devotion, they never, exhibit, these emotions. In fact, uh, these advanced Uttamadhikaris, although they are relishing this prema with the Lord, in order to accomplish the mission of the Lord, they come to the Madhyama platform. Although they come to the Madhyama platform, they are still Premi Bhaktas and they are preaching. And when they are speaking also, no, that speaking is coming from the heart. The emotions are coming from the heart. It's not coming from the head of the understanding of the tattvas. It is coming from the realizations. And that's why when we hear such speeches, those speeches also affect us. We also feel some kind of emotions. Yes or no?
Right.
Yeah. So it's like that. So generally, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that, one cannot, uh, you know, recognize such a devotee based on the symptoms of the Ashta Sattvic Vikars, but we have to see the nine symptoms of Bhava Bhakti, Avyarta Kalatvam, So whether he is manifesting, from that we should recognize him. That's what they say. Okay.
Right.
Any
Right.
other questions, clarifications?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. So let's one of the last attributes is the seventh attribute, that is, mercy, anugrah, compassion. Hmm. So this and the next section speaks about that. Let's go line by line. ततश्च सौन्दर्यादीनां यावती madhuryani tesham sa I'll just read because anyway we don't understand also what it means. After that, the devotee becomes like a chartaka bird, eager to relish all the Lord's sweetness at once. You know, Saundaryanam yavati madhuryani tesham samatye anubhavasyapi Aspin Bhakta Chartaka Chakshu Pute. He becomes like a Chartaka Chakshu because in the last section we saw when he's relishing the beauty of the Lord, the eyes, it's not only with the eyes, all the senses, the ears, you know, the touch, the smell, with all these senses simultaneously form as eyes, and he's relishing because such is the beauty of Krishna. And when all these five attributes Krishna manifests, then all the five simultaneously with all the five senses, each of the attributes of Krishna, like the beauty, the fragrance. Now, the fragrance, not only the nostrils, but the eyes, the touch, the taste, everything is relishing simultaneously. So, five raised to five, like that, So, seeing this, na, he's like a chataka bird, but he fails to catch up each raindrop in his beak. So, seeing this, the Lord thinks to himself. So, the chataka bird, he's been dry entire summer. And when the rainy season comes, uh, he wants to relish all the droplets, but his beak is very small. How can he, pick up all the droplets? So, seeing this, aho, why am I having so much sweetness in me? Krishna says, किमर्थं धृतानि तेषां संभोग जनीव सप्तम सर्वशक्ति kadamba. And he extends his seventh sweetness, Saptama, his Karuna, compassion, just to let the devotee relish all of his sweetness at once. So he exhibits his compassion so that he can relish the Lord's sweetness at once. So, as mentioning how a Chataka who has a tiny beak, he can, relish all the rainwater. So, Krishna, out of his compassion, does that, and by that, the devotee starts relishing the sweetness. This is the empress of all the Lord's energies in the middle of the lotus, on whose eight surrounding petals are the eight energies like the Vimala and Utkarshani. Parama Adhyakshaya. Parama Adhyakshaya means the empress of all Lord's energies. Agamada Vapi. In the Agamas, there is a, verse, and it is quoted in the Hari Bhakti Vilas that the Lord has eight energies: Vimala, Utkarshani, Jnana, Kriya, Yoga, Pravni, Satya, Ishana. So these are the eight energies, and all these eight are the eight petals, and then the center is Anugraha. This is mentioned in the Agama scriptures. The compassion towards the devotee is also called Anugraha, and it manifests itself in the Lord's lotus-like eyes. You know, Ashtadikabhaleshu Vartamananam Swarupa Shaktiman Madhye Eva Karnikayam Maharaja Chakravartinya Iva Stitaya Hi Anugraha Abhidhan Tvayoktaya. So that Anugraha is in the center, and that is called as. And then Bhagavato Nayanarvinda Eva Atmanam. So this Anugraha, what is the outlet of this Anugraha? It is the Bhagavat Nayana. This compassion towards the devotee is also called Anugraha and manifests itself in the lotus like eyes. Compassion or Anugraha is given different designations such as protective affection. So, this compassion manifests as protective affection, Vatsalya. Kripa Shaktir Vilasatam Kochit Dasado Vatsalyam Iti Kochit. Or kindness, Karunya, to those who have moods like that of servitude. So, somebody who has dasya mood, there is kindness towards him, or protective affection, vatsalya, based on the mood. When it appears to devotees in an amorous mood, it is called chitta vidravini akarshani shakti, melting Krishna's heart and attracting him. Thus, it appears in different names. इति प्रियादो चेतो द्रव्य इति क्वचित अनुकति नामना अभिधीयमान उद्यते. So it is called by different names based on, but it appears in Madhurya, it melts Krishna's hearts and attracts him. So this is what, you know, it does, So, Vishnu Chakra Thakur is saying that this merciful glance of Krishna appears in the devotees as protective affection, vatsalya, and karunya, kindness of those who have moods of servitude. Moods of servitude here means, moods of servitude means those in servitude, friendship, and parenthood. That means in dasya, sakya, and vatsalya. So it appears as karunya. And it takes on a different mood in the Madhurya, namely heart-melting attractiveness. And this same phenomena is known as Krishna's affection or love or sweetness. Okay. By this Kripa Shakti, Yayaiva Kripa Shakti, the Lord's all-pervading willpower delights the hearts of the sadhus with rag and greatly astonishes even fully realized self-satisfied souls. By this Kripa Shakti Sarva, Vyapinyapi, it's all pervading. Vyapinya means Vyapta, it is all pervading. Tadiya Ichhayo Shakti, it is his willpower. Sadhushu, Sadveyam, you know, it delights the hearts of the sadhus. Ranjita, Param Atmaram Api, even the fully realized souls. Mahachamat Kriti, Umer Aradhya Adya Rohayati. It astonishes them. Being subdued by this Kripa Shakti, the Lord's attribute named affection for his devotees rules like an emperor over all his other auspicious attributes like truthfulness and cleanliness that are mentioned by Mother Earth in the first canto of the Bhagavad. So being subdued by this Kripa Shakti, you know, the Lord's attribute named affection for his devotees rules like an emperor. So in the Damodar Leela, when Mother Yashoda is trying to bind Krishna, uh, Krishna is Sarva Shaktiman. So the different potencies of Yoga Maya are not allowing, because his Satya Sankalpa Shakti is, he's supreme and he's Swatantra. Janmadhyasya to Anvayat Itarastu Charteshu Abhigna Swarat. He's Abhigna and he's Swarat. He's independent, you know. And he is Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigra, Anadiradir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. So this is the definition of the absolute truth. But when Mother Yashoda is trying to bind, so these Shaktis, different Shaktis are acting and not allowing Krishna to, Mother Yashoda to bind. Ultimately, when Krishna sees the perspiration on Mother Yashoda putting her endeavors, then his Kripa Shakti invokes. And by this Kripa Shakti, he feels affection for his devotees and his heart melts, Krishna's heart melts. And all other Shaktis, there are many Shaktis, the Satya Sankalpa Shakti, and so many other Shaktis are there which are described by Acharyas. They all get subdued. They become completely helpless. And the Kripa Shakti, is like an emperor. And it allows Mother Yashoda to bind. So similarly, this is what happens. Bhakta Vatsalyam Nama Eka Eva Guna Samrad Iva Pratamam Skande Prithvi Nuktan. So in the conversation between Parikshit Maharaj and the bull, the bull narrates all the qualities of Krishna, Satyam, Saucham, Daya, Shanti, Tyaga, Santosha. This is there in the first canto, 16th chapter, verses 27 to 29. I'll just share that. Canto is the, I think, 16th chapter. Yes, yeah. So in him resides, all these qualities, Satyam, Saucham, Daya, Shantim, all these qualities she, narrates, you know. And that's why she was lamenting actually. So all these qualities are there, but the Kripa Shakti is like the emperor. Okay. So that's regarding text 7. And if you have any questions on text 7, you can raise your hands up till now, what we have discussed. Any questions, any clarifications? Okay, let's take text 8. Uh, I mentioned that this text also is speaking about Krishna's karuna, and Krishna's karuna turns even Krishna's faults into virtues. So this we will see. I'll just give one example. What are the faults? Moha, Tandra, Brahmo, Rukshma, Rasata, Kama, Ulmana, Lohata, Mada, Matsarya, Himsa, Kheda, Parishamaso, Asatyam, Krodha, Akanksha, Ashanka, Vishwavibhrama, Vismatam, Parapeksha, Dosha, Ashtadashodita. There are these 18 doshas delusion, drowsiness, mistakes, cruelty, intense lust, restlessness, intoxication, envy, violence, sorrow, fatigue, untruth, anger, desire, anxiety, universal folly, partiality, and dependence on others. These are the 18 faults. So, because of the Lord's Karunya, all these faults which are there actually become an embellishment in Krishna. And that is why mundane philosophers, mundane poets, find faults in Krishna. But they cannot understand Krishna's qualities. So I'm just going to take one example like Moha. Krishna became bewildered. How? When Brahma stole the calves and cowherd boys, and he began to search. Where are the calves and cows, as though he's not Sarvagya. He doesn't know. So then I'll just take partiality. You know, anyone knows any verse of partiality from the Bhagavad Gita that Krishna is partial to his devotees? Anyone knows? Any verse you can quote from the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna himself says that I am partial to the devotees? Anyone knows? Raise your hands. No. Okay, one hand has been raised. Yes. Sri Lalita Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, is it 9.29?
Yes, it is
Tamoham
9.29.
sarvabhuteshu
Tamoham
name
sarvabhuteshu
name dveshyosti na priya.
नामे देश ये भजन्ति तो माम
Bhakti tu
भक्त्या
mam bhakya mahi te teshu chapyaham.
So here he shows his partiality towards his devotees. So this, especially the asuras, they become very envious and find fault with Krishna. So So yes, this is partiality. It's partiality. So like that, all these qualities, maybe we can quote the verses from the Bhagavatam or the Gita. Like you know, Krishna tells lies. You know, where does Krishna tells lies? You know, there is lies. Untruth. Yeah, where does Krishna tell lies? Anyone knows the famous pastimes of Krishna telling lies? Uh, Yes, Sri Lalita Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, from Bhagavad Gita you're asking or any pastime, Prabhu?
Any pastime.
He tells no that elephant Ashwatthama, he tells to tell.
That he tells Yudhishthira to tell lies, but he himself
But he's
doesn't tell.
telling no, he's telling somebody to tell, right?
No, no, no. Krishna has to tell lies. He is telling Yudhishthira to tell lies. Yudhishthira tells the lies, but Krishna himself lying. Famous pastimes. There are unlimited pastimes which are there, Yes. Keshavnath Prasad Prabhuji.
When he's told Madhurya he has not eaten the yeah,
Oh, I have
yeah,
not eaten the miti.
yeah.
Ma nahi miti khayo. Ma nahi makhan khayo. Yeah, yeah. So there are unlimited these. Every day is to tell lies. Every moment is to tell lies in his Vatsalya pastimes. The scriptures proclaim that these 18 faults do not exist in the Lord. Ashtadasha Mahadoshe Rahita Bhagvat Tanur iti Bhagvati Sarvata Nisiddha. Although these faults are completely out of bounds for the Lord, on the request of the attribute of compassion, they can sometimes be found in the avatars like Rama and Krishna and are experienced as such by their devotees. Then they become great virtues instead. अप्येते दोष यद् अनुरोधेन रामकृष्णादि द्वय अवतारेषु क्वचित् क्वचत् विद्यमान एव संतो भक्तिर अनुभावयामान महागुणयन्ते. They become great virtues. Now Lord Ram specifically, going into lamentation, this um, uh, delusion, you know when Mother Sita was absconded by Ravana and he went into delusion. They are extended by the Lord for the relish of his devotees. To completely relish the beauty and other attributes of the Lord, the enlivened devotee savors them over and over again in his supreme astonishment. His heart melts when he repeatedly contempts the Lord's unprecedented affection for his devotees. So, Bhakta Vatsalyam idam iveti manasa muhur muhur eva anubhuvya dravina bhava ma sedishu. So he, unprecedented. How much affection, Krishna has for Arjuna when the arrows Bhishma was showering on Krishna. Krishna was taking those, and then he lifted that wheel and, raced towards Bhishma to kill him. And it is mentioned, Krishna jumped from the chariot, picked up that, and he was rushing, and Bhishma, with his bow and arrow now he was facing and he was experiencing the rasa with Krishna because that's his relationship. And Arjuna, seeing, oh, my Lord has broken his vow, he jumped from the chariot and he caught hold of Krishna's legs. And Krishna was rushing, rushing, and Arjuna was being moved from in the ground. He was pulled like that, and it went on till they came in front of Bhishma. So, what is the affection Krishna has for Arjuna that, so these become, not faults, they become great, virtues. So that's the point being made. So as I mentioned, for all these uh, 18 faults, there are references in the Shastra, but we will not go into that. But I hope one or two examples I gave, na? That makes things clear. But all these faults became great virtues which appear in the Lord. And then when the devotee experiences all these amazing virtues, his heart melts. His heart melts. Okay. Yes. Any questions? Especially Krishna becomes angry also sometimes, in the battlefield. And that is again because of Karunya. Shubhikshana Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, you have a question.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Can you speak a little loudly, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhu,
Yeah.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhu. Prabhu, what is the rasa or relationship Krishna has with Bhishma Pitama Prabhu?
It's basically in Veera Ras, they say. But of course, Veera Ras is a secondary rasa. The primary rasa, I'm not really sure, so I can't speak about it. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, when we study the Western division, Sakya Ras, Vatsalya Ras, Dasi Ras, and Shant Ras and Madhur Ras, maybe there it might be given. But it is basically Veer Rasa, and there must be Dasi Rasa also primarily. So I don't know, but it's basically Veer Ras. His worshipable Lord is Parth Sarthi, the Lord who is the chariot driver of Arjuna. And there is a spiritual planet called as Parth Sarthi in the spiritual world, where eternally Krishna performs these leelas, and Bhishma Dev is there in that role there, relishing his rasa with Krishna. That's what I know for now.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So text 9, the Lord's blessings and the devotee's humble words. The Lord now blesses the devotee, and what he speaks. The Lord then tells his devotees, Tasmin eva tad bhakta varya bahuni janmani madartam daragraha danadikam parityajya. What is he saying? Oh, best of the devotees, for many births, bahuni janmani, you have given up wife, dara, children, and wealth for my sake, and have tolerated many hardships like cold, wind, hunger, paritajya, mad, paricharya, anurodena, sita, vata, shuddha, trishna, vyatamaadadim, bahuneva, kleshan. Kleshan means a lot of troubles, pain and disease, just to worship me. Sod havate. Sodhavate means you are tolerated. You know. Bhikshucharyam, you have tolerated the insults of many people and spent your life begging. Gritve, bhavate kim api datum ashaknomi. I cannot repay you in any way and remain a debtor to you. Rini, I am a Rini. So this is what Krishna speaks to this devotee. Hmm. And, you know, hmm. So in the previous section, previous paragraph, it was mentioned how, you know, experiencing the Lord's attributes, especially his kripa, Shakti, his karunya, his affection for his devotees, and all these faults turn into virtues. You know, the affection what Krishna has for his devotees makes the devotee's heart melt incessantly. And the Lord is completely subjugated by the devotee who has endured unlimited sufferings and insults of hundreds of people in order to worship him. You know, so the devotee, the Lord feels completely indebted to such a devotee. So that's what is happening now. And now the Lord is expressing this, you know. So sometimes, devotees, become a little morose or dejected. I'm expressing these terms to express the feelings. I've been taking so much trouble last so many years. I've been, practicing bhakti. I've gone through so much health issues, so much stress, so much anxieties. And I've heard so many devotees speak against me, sometimes glorify me, sometimes criticize me. All that, you have to take. And then there's so much sufferings which come on the body, mind, you know. uh, Sukha, Dukkha, Mana, Apamana, Sita, Ushna. Sometimes it feels too much sometimes, and sometimes we feel, let me, just give up the association of devotees and again go into Maya, you know. But we should understand what is the end result. Sometimes Prabhupada in one of his morning walks was with his disciples, and some of the disciples asked Prabhupada, you see, sometimes devotees suffer a lot, and it feels that they suffer more than the karmis. So Prabhupada said that yes, the devotee's sufferings, whatever he is going through in his practice of bhakti, that's only for this one lifetime of his practice, or one or two lifetimes, or one or two, three lifetimes. And ultimately, when he attains the perfection, all that suffering in the Kapil Shiksha, there is one verse, you know, uh, the devotee who is suffering, which is like an ocean, when ultimately he has the darshan of the Lord, that darshan, dries up the ocean within few seconds. That ocean of suffering he has gone through, these millions of lives, it dries up within a moment. So similarly, Prabhupada said that, whatever suffering a devotee is going in his practice of Krishna consciousness, it's only just, one lifetime or few lifetimes. But ultimately, he'll attain the Lord and the highest bliss and eternal life, eternal spiritual body, eternal rasa with Krishna, and never he'll come back to the material world, which is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. But these karmis, they will continue to suffer lifetime after lifetime, lifetime after lifetime, lifetime after lifetime, because they are entangled in karma, and they have to attain bodies to enjoy either the fruits of karma, which is happiness or distress. So we should take solace that only, okay, just one or two lifetimes I have to suffer. So that's how the mood of a devotee should be. Uh, you know, so that's why the Lord will speak like this to the devotee, and this will further melt the devotee's heart. Lordship over the world or mystic perfections do not suit you. Sarva bhaumatvam parameshta yoga siddhi adhikam cha na bhavat anurupam. So what can I give you? Iti tat tat katam vitarishyami. What I can give for you? Hmm? So one may ask, the Lord has full of all prowess. So if he wants, he can easily give his devotee lordship over the world or Brahman bliss or mystic perfection. So why should the Lord remain his devotee's debtor? So the answer is that the pure-hearted devotee only aims at Krishna's happiness and worships him, in exchange for which Krishna cannot give him anything but his own devotional service. So the devotee worships the Lord only with the aim to give Krishna happiness. So that's why in exchange, the Lord cannot give these other things, and only his own bhakti. Krishna thinks, if I give him my devotional service, I myself will also be attained. So he can give nothing further. Although he is Ajita, the unconquerable, the inconquerable, he is fully subdued by his devotee. The devotee's good nature is Krishna's only support. In other words, he is only consoled when his devotee is happy in serving him. So that's his happiness in serving him. That's why these are the 4 verses called as the Bhava Chatur Shloki. The Bhava Chatur Shloki verses are the 4 verses in the Bhagavatam spoken by Vritrasura. Very beautiful verses. I think these are the last verses. Uh, which chapter it is? Nanakapristam na chaparameshtam न सर्वभौमं न रसाधिपत्यम् न योगसिद्धिरर्पुनर्भवं च. Yes, here, this one, yes. Yes. Nanakapristam na chaparameshtam na sarvabhaumam na rasadhipatyam na yoga siddhera punarbhavam va samanjasa tvam virahe kangshe. I don't want any planets, heavenly planets of Drolok, and nor the planet of Brahma, na sarvabhaumams, sovereignty over the entire earthly planet, na rasadhipatyam, over the lower planets. I don't want any yoga siddhis, nor liberation, Brahman. Samanjasa, O source of all opportunities. Toha vira kangshe. You know? Toha viraha kangshe, separated from you. I only have a desire to attain your lotus feet. So this is a pure divine spiritual emotion the devotee has. And that is why uh, the Lord thinks, all this is not suitable for him. How can a human being be given animal fodder like grass or husk? So he compares you know, these uh, benedictions to, grass or husk given to human beings. Human beings cannot be given this. So that's the comparison it is done. Hence, although I am Ajita, tad aham ajitopi, bhavata aduna jita eva. The inconceivable, invincible, I am now conquered by you. Varte narte bhavat Saushilyava Vallim. The wine of your good conduct is my only support. Samyak Avalambaman. Then the devotee takes these very gentle and sweet words as ear ornaments and says, O Lord, O Master, iti bhagavato, one, madhuryam, paramasnigdha varnam, karnavakatakshikkrite. Prabhu Bhagavan, Kripa Paravara, Ghor Samsara Prabha, Prapti, Klesha, Chakra Nakra, Vyuha, Charvamanam, Mam, Vilokya, कारुण्योद्योत द्रव्यचेत नवनीत अखिल लोकातीत भगवन श्री गुरु रूपाधारी मदना द्यय विद्य आ विदारी स्वदर्शनेन सुदर्शनेनेव तन्निर्भिद्य तद दंष्ट्र ता tad tad. Okay, I'll read. Then the devotee takes these very gentle and sweet words, Madhuryam Param Snigdha Varnam, as ear ornaments. Karna Karnava Tam Sikritya, and says, O Lord, Prabhu, O Master, Bhagavan, O ocean of compassion, Kripa Paravara. You see how I have fallen in the dreadful ocean of material existence. Ghora samsara prabhava prapti. And I've been torn apart by its resident crocodiles. Klesha chakra nakra vyuha charvamana mam. This has made your butter-like soft heart melt. Seeing this, Vilokya, seeing this, karunudyot drave cheto. So you now assume the supernatural form of Sri Guru. Bhagavan Sri Guru Rupadhari. So that's why when one comes in touch with the Guru, because it is mentioned, Brahmande Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Paye Bhakti Leta Bij. So how that Krishna becomes Guru? Because when the devotee in this material world, struggling for existence, dawns in his consciousness that I'm suffering in this material world. This material world is a miserable place. I don't belong to this place. I'm searching for someone, the Lord of my heart. And, nothing is going to satisfy me in this world. So that kind of jigyasa, when it comes, the Lord in the heart hears. And then you come in touch with devotees or the spiritual master. So the Lord, Bhagavan Shri Guru Rupadhari, the supernatural form, and gives your darshan, Swa Darshane Neva, which is like a Sudarshan disc. Sudarshan Eva, that tears apart the ignorance of lust, Nirbhidya Tad, Dramshta, and so thus releases me from this terrible teeth, the crocodile's teeth. So this is how the devotee mentions. Now you make the syllables of your mantra enter the path of my ears. Evon mocha nija charana kamala yugala dasi chikirshaya swa mantra varna vithim mat karna. So that my pain is extinguished and that you can engage me as a maid servant at your lotus feet. Vithim pravesha nirvyat कृत्य मुहुर्मुहुर अपि स्वगुण नाम श्रवण कीर्तन स्मरणादिभिर माम एव asudhan. You repeatedly purify me by allowing me to hear, chant, and remember your holy attributes and names. However, although you bestowed the association of your devotees on me and taught me how to serve you, Nija Bhaktar api sangamate swa sevam apya bhu bodhat tadapi durmedoham. But I am such a low fool that I cannot serve you for even one day. But although I am punishable and wicked, you still made me drink the sweetness of your darshan. Kadarcharyas tad ayam jano dandaitum evarya pratyuttaitava darshana madurim payata. So this is how the devotee speaks. Now, the devotee speech will continue in the next line also. So this also I will just discuss because it's just description. I'll just read this, and again we cannot fathom how it is happening. But when I hear the best of the Lord say, Kim cha rini bhavatam shri mukha vanya, I have become a debtor to you. I become bewildered and think to myself, what shall I do? Kim karomi pashyava 5, 7, 8. No, 100 million offenses dwell in me. Shapta ashto atva laksha koti api yadya aparada. Now I consider arrogant even to beg your pardon. So I feel arrogance if I ask you pardon, because how many times have I asked pardon? So many offenses I have done. I think I have committed even more than 1 trillion of offenses, you know, and each of these offenses were very grave. Let me summer the remaining part of the reactions to them. Bhukta bhogatva phala vartamana nama. I will not beg for an amnesty. Now I understand the offenses I committed just the other day by comparing your limbs to the fresh rain cloud, blue lotus and sapphire, your face with the moon, and your feet with the fresh sprouts. It is like comparing a golden mountain with half a sesame seed, a chintamani gem with a chickpea, a lion with a jackal, or Garuda with a fly. This was so foolish that I committed great offenses. So actually, uh, kavya is, metaphors where we use, abhinava dhara jala sundar hai, just like a fresh formed cloud, that sham, but this comparison is just to give us a hint. The beauty of the Lord, the blackish beauty, Sham Sundar, it cannot be compared to anything material because it is spiritual. And now this devotee is having darshan and he is lamenting, my goodness, I compared you to the fresh rain cloud, blue lotus and sapphire. And this comparison is like the comparison of the golden mountain with half a sesame seed. Where is the comparison? It cannot be compared. So now he realizes, I've committed all this. By offering such worldly praises to the Lord, now my foolish poetry is praised by people at large. So people at large praise my poetry, but these worldly praises are my foolish poetry. Now that I have seen your divine form with my very eyes, for even a fraction of a second, I understand my words of comparison are like the teeth of a restless, chased up cow that does try to pollute the wish yielding wine of your beauty, but wasn't able to. In this way, the devotee laments in many ways, and the Lord is very pleased with him and shows him as far as possible and according to the devotee's own mood, like the amorous one, the super excellent Rasika Sri Vrindavan, the wish yielding tree, the great Yogapita, the daughter of Rishabhanu, his most beloved, her girlfriends like Lalita, her maidservants, her friends like Shri Shupana, his cows that are herded by him, Sri Yamuna, Sri Govardhan, the Bandiravan tree, Mount Nandishwar, his mother, father, brother, friends, servants, maidservants that dwell there, and all other Vrajvasis that are so excellent due to his enjoyment. So, like that, uh, the Lord now reveals in his darshan all these, you know. When the devotee is thus wholly immersed in the river of fascination, the Lord and his associates suddenly disappear. When he's experiencing this ananda, hmm, the head vanishes. So this is what, happens in his, so this is, the description. Text 11 we will take up tomorrow. Text 11 is also very, very interesting. In text 11, the Premi Bhakta's various states of mind are mentioned. 11 and I think that's the last, and then from 12 onwards, there is some evidence, because Vishwanath Chandra Thakur has just given narrations of the emotions, but just to, give Shastra Praman of all these different stages, he gives some scriptural references, that is from 12 onwards. So that also we will see tomorrow. Yeah. Yes, Subha Ikshan Krishna Prabhuji. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Uh,
Prabhu, in the last slide of this text 10, which we just concluded, there is a word written as Yoga Pit in that all the friends, trees.
Yeah, Yoga Peet is the peat where, it's central stamina with the 8 lotus are there. The central one is Yoga Peet where Radha and Krishna sit. So that's the Yoga Pita. And he has the darshan of the Yoga Pita. And I'll share the picture with you. Just a minute. Uh, Yoga Pita is a very famous, yeah. In the Golok Vrindavan chart, it is there. Just sharing, it's not going to be clear, I think. So here is the Golok Vrindavan. The Golok Vrindavan is here, and there are unlimited petals, but the first 8, are there. The Ashta Sakis and the Ashta Shaktis are there. So in the center, which is called as stamina, where the Yoga Pit is there, where Radha and Krishna are there. So that is revealed to him. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Sunita Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna Dandot Pranam Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I wanted to ask a question that how does a devotee realize that the Lord is pleased by his devotional service?
How is the devotee realized that the Lord is pleased by his service? Now, happiness, we have a conception and definition as to what gives pleasure to my senses. Atmendriya Preeti, Tara bole Kam. But love or bhakti or devotion means to give pleasure to Krishna. That is bhakti. you know, Sarvapadi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchyate. Now, when we practice devotion and actually with the intention to please the Lord, all activities like, we make the garlands for the deity's pleasure, or we serve prasadam to serve the Vaishnavas, because these act is done selflessly with the mood of the seva, the devotion, uh, when the devotee is pleased and the lords are pleased, naturally we become internally pleased. So that is the sign. Save pumsan paro dharma yato bhakti radokshade ahetuki apratiyata yayatma suprasidati. Suprasidati. We naturally become blissful, because that devotion is done ahetuki, you know. So like that, one can, understand it. One can understand like that. And, that is the benchmark, you can say. Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhuji, but one more question regarding
Mm.
this only that sometimes it happens that it gives pleasure to the devotee.
Mm.
That I have done this seva or devotional service very nicely. So, how can we differentiate that it is not pleasing me, but it is pleasing the Lord?
Yeah, when it is done for the pleasure of the Lord, naturally you will feel happy internally. That is the sign. You will feel happy internally. When the activity is done, just a simple thing, the devotees, in the Seva Bhav, they are serving the Vaishnavas, Prasad. And by doing that act, because it is done in that mood, you can see that he is very blissful, he is very happy. So by that you can understand. Is it clear?
To some extent.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So thank you very much. Shri Madhurya Kadambini ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Vishwanath Chandra Thakur ki jai. Hare Krishna.